Welcome back to the Edamame Anime Club, where we are on the verge of going cyberpsychosis. But before we get there, we wanted to film this episode. I'm Steve, and I'm joining my two co-hosts.
Alexander, as always, great to be here.
And our new co-host,
Ripper Doc Marcus.
Ripper Doc Marcus.
I like it.
Yeah, I like it too. Now, I'm sure you guys know by that cold open what anime we're doing. Alexander, do you want to tell everyone we're doing?
We're going to be doing Cyberpunk Edgerunners.
Cyberpunk Edgerunner, man. This anime is... I watched it when it first came out with Marcus, and it was pretty good. I was pretty emotional. I was hurting. I was hurting.
That sentimental ending gets you.
I feel like it's the outro, the outro music. Fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Spoilers.
We'll get in that. But before we get that, we got some tasty, delicious beers,
All right.
and I want you to know why I got these.
I'm curious.
You got that one. This is mine. You can have that one.
Okay.
All right. Got us some Twisted Teas. Sponsor us.
I got the half and half.
Yeah. So can you just guess right off the beginning? Right, just looking at it. What do you think?
The colors. I don't know.
Marcus?
I have no idea.
It's the color of his fucking jacket.
Yeah.
That's a huge focal point. It's the color of his jacket, but also the neon.
Mine's definitely David's coat.
Yeah. I like peach.
You know, I didn't even realize that coat was given to him by his mom. It took me all the way until the last episode.
She didn't give it to him.
We'll
get into that.
Spoilers, guys. Spoilers. All right, cheers, mate. Oh, actually, Kampai. 1, 2, 3, party rock. Yeah. Okay. Twisted Tea is goated.
I like Twisted Tea.
But it's too much sugar. You can only have.
Yeah, you can only drink like one or two.
One tall boy, and if you drink more than that, it's diabetes.
Don't drink 24 packs.
Yeah, unless it has the bomb pop. Yeah, the bomb pop flavor. But it goes in this order: the bomb pop flavor, raspberry, peach, and then half and half in the original.
Nah, it goes bomb pop, regular, peach. That's a.
Have you had the raspberry one?
Yes.
Okay, sorry then. It's okay. Well, I mean, really, if I'm gonna rate this beer, I give it a 3.
3 out of 5.
Yeah, three edamames for this one.
Yeah, 3 out of 5.
2.5.
It just, I don't know, man. It's good, but like, I wouldn't drink it on. I don't know, man. Anyone that pulls up with a case of Twisted Tea, they trying to fight tonight. They're trying to black out.
This is half tea, half lemonade. It's pretty good.
I think this one's probably the best one. The original is way too sweet. It's either this one or the Arnold Palmer. I'm surprised Arnold Palmer doesn't have a alcoholic 24.
They do.
Do they?
Not a 24. It's a case. They have one. Yeah. I got the Arizona one the other day. Yeah. That one's pretty good.
I feel we're getting a little sidetracked here.
Yeah. Anyways, it's a tasty beer. Anyways, we're gonna drink it anyways. So let's get into this anime. So again, I originally watched it when it first came out. I thought it was a great anime. I loved it. I watched it like I binge watched it with Marcus when it first came out, and then I've been pitching it to you for a good while.
Yeah, I just passed on it whenever it first came out, even though you and Marcus both said it was really good. I don't know, just wasn't really that interested in it.
At the end of the day, I think you take what we say like for granted, and then you see it on Reddit, and you're like, must be good.
Yeah, it's not that good. If they like it.
If they liked it, it must not be good. But it doesn't have a story to it. So I'm curious to get into your review on it, but let's get into a little bit about the anime.
Yeah, so Cyberpunk Edgerunners is animated by Studio Trigger. Very, very good at anime studio. It's based off the game Cyberpunk 2077, which is done by CD Projekt Red. Yeah. Which, if you don't know CD Projekt Red, they do the Witcher series. So I would imagine Cyberpunk's a really, really good game.
It looks pretty good. I've seen some gameplay from it.
It was definitely made to promote the video game.
Yeah,
like
the anime came out just a little bit after the video game released, right?
I'm not sure, but
the anime came out in September 2022. I don't know when the game came out, but yeah, it actually is a prequel to the game. I don't know if you knew that.
I did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They started
and it's also done by CD Projekt Red.
Yeah,
like they're the what do you call it?
Like
the storyboard.
They produced it. Yeah.
So no, I knew it was a prequel. You can actually find some of the items that are in the anime inside of Cyberpunk 2077. If you like once the anime dropped, people started looking for like certain items like Rebecca's gun, David's jacket, things like that.
Oh, really?
It's in the game, so you can gotta look for it.
Okay. Interesting fact: Cyberpunk Edgerunners won the IGN awards for best anime series in 2022. So
So, if you know how we feel about IGN,
yeah, we don't care for it.
yeah, I don't care for the ratings. I don't. How do you feel about this being number one, though? Do you think it could be that?
Best anime.
Straight shill.
No.
Straight shill. The CD Projekt Red probably dumb money.
paid IGN to do it.
IGN's gonna,
No.
because Cyberpunk, what it was meant to be.
I'd have to look at a lineup of 2022 anime.
There's probably a lot.
It'd probably be like, there's probably
Like Spy Family, I think came out.
Spy Family. I'd have to pull up the list. I should have done that before this.
No, it's okay because we don't want to get off track on that.
Yeah, anyway.
But it did win number one. But we really don't like IGN's ratings, just because they listed Death Note as the number one horror anime. Death Note, which is super scary, and we were shitting on it for a good while. So I don't really like that they did that. So take whatever ratings they have for anime with a grain of salt and a shot of Patron, because they never make sense. But this one, I think it should have been definitely a competitor.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably top 5, but number 1.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Not it, yeah.
Oh, you got anything else on it?
Yeah. So they announced that there would not be a season 2.
Thank God.
Yeah, no season 2. Although Trigger says that they're open for future projects involving Cyberpunk.
I don't know how they would do a season 2.
They could do not a spin-off, but like the same type of universe.
Yeah, definitely.
They could do that.
You could just run with especially because they came out with a new expansion to Cyberpunk, and I don't know what it's called. It's like Liberty something.
Oh yeah, I've been seeing that on like.
So it's a whole nother chapter of.
Oh, okay.
But the video game.
I'm glad, because you know how I feel about standalone anime. I think that's what it is. It's a standalone, but I do think they could do a lot with like the other gang members, the ones with the the mask, like the samurai mask. I think they could do a story with them. I could do a story with a lot of other one with Atom Smasher. There's
a lot that could be explored. Like I'd like to see more about the Pixars, et cetera, et cetera.
Or maybe the people who don't go cyber psychosis, like Atom Smasher.
Oh, don't give that away. We're not to the spoiler section.
Yeah, we're
yet.
not spoilers yet.
It's not really a spoiler.
It's not really a spoiler because he's not really a big part of the. But either way, it's it does not need a season 2.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't make sense either. So you're right.
Not at all.
Yeah. All right. Anything else?
Nah. I'll go ahead and get into some reviews.
Let's do it. I love the reviews. Make sure you give out their names too.
All right. So I guess I'll give out the overall rating on IMDb is a 8.3 out of 10. So it's rated fairly high. It also got a 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, which doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, Rotten Tomatoes doesn't just do that for any show. So, all right, I'll read a good review first. This one's done by Island Mist. He says, a show is good when the only complaint is there isn't enough of it. The show is great. The only real qualm I have is that it scales up to epic proportions way too fast. The last episode should have been something we see in season 4 of an anime. I would have preferred something of a smaller scale that really shows all the intricate details of what it's like to live in Night City. I felt the Fixer, voiced by Gus from Breaking Bad, would have been a sufficient final boss for the season, instead of having them go against the most powerful guy in the Cyberpunk universe. Perhaps it was because they weren't planning on more seasons, but Cyberpunk is way too big for just 10 episodes, mostly focusing on the cyber psychosis and cyberkinetic aspects of it. They managed to get details from the game like the city, the map, the weapons very well. I'd have liked to see everyone's backstories. It would have been more meaning to help connect with them. I compare this to something like as fantastic as Castlevania, but imagine Trevor and the others defeat Dracula and it's over in 10 episodes. A show is good when the only complaint is there wasn't enough of it.
I don't think that's true.
No.
I don't think we needed backstories. I mean, we got some backstories.
I would have actually liked some of the things to be fleshed out a little more. I think it would have benefited if it was 12 episodes instead of 10.
Yeah. I think maybe 14, 15 episodes would did this justice.
Yeah.
Because you could have, one 25-minute episode could tell you all you need to know about the backstories of every character.
Yeah.
They could have just added one more episode, 2 more episodes, fully fleshed out all the characters. That would have been now. But no, I don't really think, in my opinion, it needed anything more.
I kind of agree with them on the breakneck speed. Shit just happens really, really quick.
Yeah.
There's a time lapse of events that happen that are cascading. But that I think we're blinded by the anime's length. Like an anime's length because we watch 2 episodes of Goku yelling and we're blinded to what can be refined down to 10 episodes.
Okay.
It's, in my opinion, the 10 episodes was perfect. If they had 12, it would have been just as good.
Yeah.
If it went anything beyond that, to me, it would have been just expanding on what like the backstories of characters. I don't need to know every backstory of a character.
No.
But it's good. I'm glad if they like really relate. Like I wouldn't mind a backstory of Pilar and Rebecca as kids.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind some of the other ones. But really, to me, the main characters did get backstories. We got David's backstory.
Yeah.
We got Lucy's backstory. We got what's the Mange?
Somewhat.
Yeah, Maine's a little bit. We got the important details.
Yeah.
So-
Really, it was all about Lucy and David.
Yeah.
So I guess in that aspect, it does cover. It fleshes them out well. But I don't know. Like I don't know. Like I said, I would have liked to see more about the fixers. Maybe maybe explain the rivalry a little bit more between Militech and can't think of its name.
Oh man.
Whatever
The
that is.
pharmaceutical company called Astagor or something. I don't know.
Yeah. But anyways, I think 10 episodes was fine for me.
All right.
I would have dropped it down to 8 if I could.
Oh yeah. What would you cut out?
There's just some anime that can be told in a short. Fooly Cooly is told in 6 episodes, and
Yeah.
it's amazing. Afro Samurai is told in 5 episodes, and it's amazing. You have these anime that are amazing stories that open you up to the open-endedness of an actual anime.
Okay.
But either way, I mean, he had some good points, and then that's his only feedback to it. I can see why this is a good rating.
Yeah. He rated it 8 out of 10.
Okay,
Yeah. So.
you got one that's gonna shit on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see it.
Yeah,
This
I'm
one's
excited.
this one's done by Silencer72551.
Shout out.
Shout out to Silencer. He says 4 out of 10. Poorly written and poorly directed. This isn't a total loss if you're up for something to watch, but unless you are a hardcore aficionado of the Cyberpunk universe, most of this is just low-grade time filler. There's absolutely no explanation for anything to anyone about this quote-unquote universe. Even for me, someone who has played the game and knows a bit about it, there's a lot that simply does not make sense. The story writing is tilted, as is the animation. The characters can be kind of interesting, but none of them have anything resembling a clear persona. They're all written the same way. Arrogant, immoral, on edge. It gets tiring. If you are a huge Cyberpunk fan, you will possibly enjoy this. If you aren't, don't even bother. It's just low quality animation with a dull script. It is, in a word, gonk.
Yeah, I mean, there it is,
Okay.
guys. You heard it there. I mean, you can't like
Gonk.
you can't fight those descriptions. I don't know what he's getting at, the immoral part of it all. I don't get the.
Yeah.
It was very well written, and it seemed like it had a good plot and a story, and it was building off of and it was building off of these big time gaps between epic plot points that happen.
Yeah, it's definitely like a breakneck like thriller anime. I could see why he says that the writing is tilted, but
Yeah, I don't think you really need to be super just in depth, crazy writing and setting up all these characters and going in depth. It's like it's an action anime to me.
yeah,
It does something that a lot of anime don't do these days, where it does not make it like episode 9 wasn't about the world ending,
yeah.
and it wasn't like global catastrophe.
I mean, in my opinion, it'd be like watching Die Hard and then being disappointed that Bruce Willis's character wasn't more fleshed out or something.
Yeah, I mean that's what it is. It is cut dry, group of guys doing heists.
I mean, as far as the characters, like that's what they're meant to be. They're the bottom of the bucket.
Yeah,
They're meant to be like criminals.
yeah.
you
They're
know?
criminals pulling off heists and
what else you
and
wanna
they're
be?
murdering people. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and honestly, it just sounds like this guy doesn't like the genre of this
Yeah.
anime. So if
Yeah,
you don't like, because
Cyberpunk.
he doesn't like the idea of cyber, even though he says he's played it. I mean, but also none of us have played Cyberpunk, and we just watched gameplay of it probably. But really, maybe the game is tainting the anime or vice versa.
Could be.
Either or. I mean, he just sounds like he doesn't like the genre.
I do know
Yeah.
Cyberpunk on the game on release was highly, highly anticipated. It was supposed to be like goated because CG Projekt Red, like I said, had already done the Witcher series, so they were expecting like if you haven't played The Witcher 3, amazing game, so they expected the same thing with that.
Yeah.
And I know it was like kind of like a shaky launch. I know it had like some bugs and it was like really high specs, so not everyone can play. It was like a weird launch like that.
Yeah.
But
Everyone was hyped because Keanu Reeves was on it too.
oh yeah, I forgot about that.
But yeah, actually, one of my buddies, his PC like died.
When he opened the game, or
Yeah, he was playing it and it just like shut off, and I don't know what happened after that. But he had a pretty high spec PC and he just couldn't handle it. Anyways, but so either way, I mean that's kind of where we didn't play the game, so we don't really know on that part. We don't know if it's tainted. So all right, those are some good reviews. I'm glad. We always like we always read a good one and a bad one just to kind of flush it out. Where we're not just totally biased. So now let's get into our reviews, and we'll go this way.
All right.
Because I want Alexander's. So remember, we rated out of 5, and it's at 0.25 increments.
Is this like spoilers yet?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I would rate. What was it out of 5?
Out of 5. Yeah. You can use 0.25 increments.
Yeah, I would do. I would do maybe 3.75 out of 5.
3.75.
Yeah.
Now, I've only given 1 5 on here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not going to give this one a 5. I would give this a 4.25. I do think there are some things that... all right, 4.5. Because, again, at the end of it, after I finished watching it, and it stuck with me for like a month. Dude, I couldn't drive. I couldn't stop thinking about it. I couldn't do work. I was like legitimately like lost in this anime, and how I am.
I was gonna say it's interesting that you get so involved in it.
Yeah, I self-insert big time on it, and I let that build off it because I like to really feel it in my soul, and I know it left me empty.
Yeah,
which was what it was going for.
Yeah.
So 4.5 out of 5 edamames.
4.5 out of 5.
Yeah, what do you got? Excited.
I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5.
Ah, damn, dude, come on.
It's just like weird small things, like and me, I'm kind of nitpicky about some weird stuff.
You're nitpicky about anime I suggest to you.
There's so some of the things that I noticed that were like kind of weird. I don't know if it was like Netflix's like localization or whatever, but I could tell as they're speaking, like they're using like slang words, and it's like throwing off the way the text is from what they're saying. Like I could tell. I don't know if you watched it dub or sub, but I watched it sub. I'm a sub guy.
Yeah, same.
Then I could tell like they're trying to like be like gratuitous with it. They're trying to like make him seem cooler or something, and I could hear him saying David, and the translation's like kid, Like they're saying his name, and they're doing stuff like that, or like some of the text calls, like they're talking to each other, and the text on the screen is like the way the Japanese have translated it, and then on the bottom it's an entirely different translation. It was like throwing me off like that. The anime very good, except for when you can tell they're taking shortcuts, right? Like I could tell when they're doing like long spans of like it's basically a screenshot. They had like that 30-second little PowerPoint just still, and they're just screening it. Granted, I understand that animes use this technique to save on the budget. The final like boss fight, I guess the final climax episode, like had horrible CGI, with the car chase scenes and stuff, but like some of the very specific action scenes is really cool. I like the gore. Like the very first 2 episodes, like the ambience, the music was like really good, like it worked real well. The action scenes were great, like fantastic. And then you can just tell it like falls off. The characters, like another kind of negative for me. I didn't like David. Honestly, the mom was the best character in the show.
All right.
She was the best character in the show.
What his PH history is.
Lucy's just like, and I think I was telling you this, she's just a stereo archetype, and all of the characters kind of are to some point. But she just fits the manic pixie dream girl archetype, where like the main character meets his obvious love interest, and she like grabs him by the hand and whisks him off into like Fantasyland, fairy tale land, takes him on the adventure. Like that was her purpose. Like I don't know, it was just things like that. David, his entire motivations for everything in the anime just made no sense to me. But
goddamn.
But the things that I did like, it does really well. It's very great action. I like the action scenes. I like the grittiness of it. Yeah, I don't know, 3.5 out of 5.
Right. Huh.
All right. Well, I appreciate your honesty, but I do agree on some of the things you're saying. Maybe I was blinded by by the first time we watched it, and I watched it dubbed. I watched it dubbed for a very specific reason. Yeah. Rebecca's voice actor dub is really good.
Oh yeah,
yeah, she's hilarious.
I know she's very popular. She's probably my favorite character besides like Gloria.
Yeah, both were really good.
Yeah,
I enjoyed subbed because that's the way I like to watch anime. But
yeah, we watched it dubbed the first time, and then so you got to see both point of views.
Yeah.
And one thing I do not like is Netflix interpretation of dub. Like I said, they shitted on like Neon Genesis.
Oh yeah,
they fucked that one up. And by the way, I think one of the producers or editor was from Neon Genesis, helped out on this one.
Oh really?
So there's a little bit of that in there too. Well, all right, guys, you got anything else before we get into spoilers?
Nope.
We gave our reviews, guys. You can, if you have not watched the anime, stop it right now because we're about to get in the spoiler section of the anime, and we're about to release all type of things, and we're gonna go into a very extensive review. So stop it now. Put us on pause. Go watch the 10 episodes. Come back, put play, and watch the rest of us. Make sure to subscribe, like, and tell all your friends about us. All right, well, let's get into it. So let's jump right into the introduction and the intro. Well, actually, let's get in the animation.
Animation, okay.
Yeah, that's because I think that's a really quick one we can talk about. Yeah. You said there was CGI. I didn't see it.
Yeah, definitely the cars are CGI.
There's a few points because, like, if you think about all the animes coming out in the 2020s. They all heavily use just cheesy CGI. They don't really care. They use they cut corners. They do all types of stuff to, use a picture like you were saying. Like they use a picture and then they animate the picture.
Like they zoom in on it and it just like pans the.
Like they just use they use cheap tricks in my opinion. But this, Studio Trigger, CD Projekt Red, like they have a huge budget, man, and you could tell that they had a lot of money on this.
Yeah, like I said, the action scene's fantastic.
Yeah, they went, in my opinion, for a few scenes, maybe, with the CGI. Other than that, it was fantastic. I thought the animation was great.
There were certain animation, sequences where they had, where David just did something horrific or seen something horrific, and it pans to him, and it's a different animation style, but you can actually see him hurting and see him upset and, empty inside after what he committed. And I want to say it's after something he did, with murdering someone or something like that.
Yeah, but really, that's a big point.
Yeah, and that's been a screensaver for a lot of people. People know this moment. It's him driving, and it's the lights on him, and he's just in and they did a really good job of depicting these things.
Some of my favorite scenes were actually whenever he's actually experiencing the cyber psychosis. Whenever Ripper Doc is operating on him and he's about to ask him for the drugs or whatever. He's hallucinating as he's talking to him. Yeah. That was a really good scene.
Yeah, with all the eyes.
Yeah, he's getting more and more eyes and his hands are little tentacles.
I saw that.
Yeah.
So there's some good animation in it there. But you're right, and you're right too about the CGI just being a quick fix. I always compare it. It's never going to be as Dragon Ball superhero. Dragon Ball superhero will never be that bad. But it is one of those. And Studio what is it?
Studio Trigger.
Studio Trigger did Dragon Stampede, the new one, right? Yeah. And I think that's all CGI'd.
Yeah, I was gonna say you watched that and you said it actually wasn't too bad.
The story was good. The animation was not there. But I'm always gonna say that if it's CGI'd because I like the very the grungy, nice nostalgia anime. Yeah, I like that stuff.
Yeah.
But as far as the animation goes, it was okay. I didn't mind it too much, and I didn't see too much CGI.
Yeah.
All right, so we got to get in this intro and outro. Yeah. The intro was actually Franz Ferdinand?
Franz Ferdinand.
I was wondering how I recognized it.
Yeah, it was Franz Ferdinand.
Oh, man. Intro was fantastic.
It was good, the music was great.
I don't know if there's a manga of this or manga. But if you watch the intro, it's panning different scenes, hand drawn scenes on the character because he's I
was trying to pay attention to that.
Yeah, and it was just flipping it was I loved it.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I like the song too.
Yeah, the song fits so well with it.
Yeah, it's basically the theme song of the anime.
Yeah.
Well, about that, there is a theme song for that anime, and it's I have it on my Spotify. Because it made the top list the year it came out. But there is let's get in the outro and I'll talk about the music a bit.
Yeah.
The outro was just mid to me. It didn't grow on me.
I loved it.
The outro is good because of the feeling it evokes. And whenever I was watching it, it reminded me of the outro of Black Lagoon. If y'all ever seen that.
Yeah. I love the song. Man, like I went and found the song of the outro so I could play it and listen to it to invoke that feeling that it brings. Like I think the outro's like in my opinion, that outro of the intro and the outro of this anime is probably one of the best I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like it's fantastic. Like the outro is the best. Like I rate that super high.
I thought it was mid to me. I watched it and then like it always ended on like a cliffhanger, and I'd listen to it, and I'd just listen to it, and then I would move forward. Yeah, after a while I started skipping it, but I know you watch every single.
I try to.
Yeah, and sometimes if it's repetitive, but the thing is, every once in a while they'll throw in a curveball, and it's like, oh, new ending, new intro.
I just feel like I like to watch intros and outros because like the animators, and music video effects people all put their time into it. There's reasons for every little scene. I like to look at them, try to see what they're going for.
I would go look up the outro song for Cyberpunk. It gives you a little extra animation. It's a little story. It's like a 4-minute song. But they do a little story animated, fully animated in Cyberpunk style.
Yeah, I did not know that.
I know that.
Yeah, check that out, man. I mean, like I said, like that outro stuck with me. I felt like it evoked a lot of emotion. Just the whole tone of the anime set in that outro for me.
Well, one of so let's get into the music about it. One of the songs of this anime is actually called "I Really Want to Stay at Your Something."
At your place.
At your house.
Yeah,
at your house. And it's by Rose Walton. And one of the reason I really that song was really good. It actually plays in the ending, and when he's like fighting Atom Smasher.
Oh, okay.
While they're falling off the roof, and he's with Lucy. It's playing. It plays a couple times when they look at the moon the first time. When they look at the moon the last time it plays. It's a very popular song, and it's very good. And one of the funny things is that when me and Marcus went to an Austin Tekken tournament, they actually played that, and the house went crazy. But you remember what the guy said? No. He said, "It's my first Street Fighter tournament. I got 6th place." Oh yeah, I was like out of 8. He was like, I got 6th place, and he bumped that song, and the whole crowd went wild. But anyways, they played that song, and it's a good song, and I really like it. It made my top for 2022. It made my top played song. Like it was like top 10. For the years for Spotify. So it is a good song. I really enjoyed it. I mean, I've listened to it all the time. But anyways, so the intro, outro, music, we got that covered. But really, I mean, there was some good music throughout, in my opinion. It was really solid.
Yeah, I looked into it so that a lot of those songs are like songs from the game that are featured on the radio. Yeah, for the
dope.
In the radio, like the where you can switch through the stations.
Yeah.
A lot of those songs are in the radio, like the intro, the outro, all that stuff. It's featured in the game.
That's actually sick. Yeah. I didn't know that. Now I want to play the game.
Yeah, sick.
But I want to pay $60 for it still, and I don't think my computer can handle it.
maybe not. I don't know.
All right, so we got into that intro, outro, and and the music. Let's jump into these characters. There are so many. You said they're not unique. I think they are unique. But you're basing it off like anime we saw. Like I do feel like a lot of the character designs or ideas come from an anime we've all watched together. Akudama Drive.
Yeah,
there's a lot of like similarities.
Shout out Akudama Drive.
Shout out to Akudama Drive. It was a great anime.
Awesome anime.
Yeah, great anime. Make sure to watch it uncensored, of course, because you'll be really pissed off. But there's a lot of similarities in that regard with some of the characters. But really, I thought these were kind of unique.
Yeah. The designs are definitely unique. My favorite of, I guess, the squad was definitely Pilar, however you want to say his name.
Well, let's go down the list.
You want to go down the list? All right.
Yeah, start with David.
David Martinez, our main character. Mm-hmm. I don't know, classic main character. At school, getting bullied. His mother's poor. He's got a point to prove.
Yeah, real stoic.
Yeah,
doesn't really get rattled.
Yeah.
Like real just stoic character.
See, I see potential. Potential. I see there like he had potential. Like he has a story. He has nothing given to him, and he wants more. Like a lot of the stuff is built off him, like him not having anything.
Yeah.
Just imagine like if he just bought the right download for the school.
Yeah, or if he had just taken his mom's money and bought the book or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it was like the download instead of like trying to get a generic.
She never had the money. All right, she never had. She was trying to sell Sandusky.
Well, yeah, you're right.
The
She's trying to sell
The
that, man.
Sandusky.
So she's never had the money.
But
all
see,
right?
yeah.
Sandivistan.
I always saw it as never mind.
Yeah.
I'm not going there.
Yeah,
I always saw it as something else.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's funny,
Yeah.
but he does. But he is a mid. But let's be honest. Aren't all MCs mid as fuck?
When they start out, yes.
No, all of them. Think of all the MCs you know right now. Think of Ichigo.
I like Ichigo.
He's the only MC. He's the only good
You
MC.
can't say that.
like Deku.
See, I don't know. I don't watch that one.
Goku.
Goku. Fuck Goku. We're all about Vegeta.
Tanjiro, yeah.
Tanjiro. Like all the MCs that are coming out now are ass.
I mean,
But see, him being as a mid MC, because all the supporting characters are what's making him better.
it has to be that way though. You can't like the
Yeah.
main character. I don't feel like there's an anime that just goes and doesn't make the main character kind of hated a little bit. Where you're like, I kind of don't like this motherfucker. Like that's what I feel. Like a lot of animes, it's like, except for Dragon Ball Z. Let's be
Fuck
honest.
Goku. Vegeta's the real one.
Yeah, Vegeta,
He stayed and raised up his
This
kids.
anime though is built that way. You know, he's kind of pathetic.
Yeah, I mean, he's just poor. He's just poor.
Yeah.
He's not pathetic. He's poor.
One of the main things that made me really dislike him is that his mom dies, right?
Yeah.
And he shows like zero emotion.
What? He had a whole scene on that.
With
You got to think it's futuristic, right? So
Well, the scene-
it's all
the scene-
based off commerce.
the scene is more to me showing how like desolate the city
I
he lives
could-
in and uncaring the city
I
he
could
lives
see
in.
what you're talking about when she dies and the doctor tells him like you know here's the funeral options,
Yeah.
right? And he's like, well, do I really have a choice?
Mhm.
Like he showed no emotion in his voice, which I think is the actor's fault, voice actor, which I think he
Maybe.
did great. But the voice actor's fault in that is like he doesn't show emotion, you know. But if you look at the animation during these scenes, you can see it. Like he's totally showing emotion. He's spaced out. The whole entire anime is like him going back to his mom and like
I mean, you can
it's
see in
always
the-
in his head. Like
you can see in the last few episodes, but like he puts his mom's death on the same level as Main's death, if not even less.
yeah,
important
I
than
agree.
Main.
They're the same.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, and I'll cover that a bit when we get into the plot points. But I honestly think Main he sees him as a father figure.
Could be.
So
Yeah.
I feel that a lot when I'm watching this anime.
right.
But really, yeah, you're right. I mean, he should. I don't see the emotional appeal that he has for his
Yeah.
mom dying. But really, we don't know how they feel about death in the future. Like in a city like that,
Could
when
be.
you're poor, it's like we don't understand. Like maybe I feel like humanity is detaching from emotion altogether.
Yeah.
So maybe
same,
they are detaching.
same with Pilar dying.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
his sister didn't really care.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
I mean,
wasn't like a
yeah,
huge like she freaked out in the moment.
Yeah,
But after it, she just joked about it like it was nothing. Like,
Yeah.
he was still there.
There's a disconnect there. All right, let's get to the next character.
All right. Main. Let's go over Main.
Great, fantastic.
I liked Main.
It was great. Great leader.
Yeah. The only thing I dislike about his quote unquote character development, and there's a thing in storytelling. You're supposed to show, not tell, right? I wish that they would have introduced cyberpsychosis more like underneath, like as a hidden danger, and then had him go crazy. Instead, the episode just opened up and he's like beating the shit out of one of his coworkers,
girlfriend.
his
Dorio.
girlfriend, Dorio, on the job. It went from 0 to 100. I would have liked to see. There they were just telling me, all right, he's cyberpsychosis now. Like he's obviously losing his shit. I would have liked to see like,
Crumbed out.
yeah, I would have liked to see him hint at it more, or just like weird things, like how they did with David towards the end of the season,
I
where
mean-
he's having moments where he's losing it, and they didn't just come out and say, oh, obviously cyberpsychosis. type thing.
They did it in a little bit. There's a scene where he's like his hands shaking.
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
does the same with David, where he's like his
Mhm.
hands start shaking.
Yeah, you're right, and it was subtle with Maine, but the thing that I want to mention is that we followed David's journey through the entirety of the anime,
Mhm.
so we get to see it firsthand when it's happening, when it's starting, when it's developing. With Maine, we got midway through. We got the end of his journey,
Mhm.
so really he's already dealing with that. When I first saw that, I thought he was just beating the shit out of Dory. I think it was just an
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they like mentioned it here and there. I didn't know it was like that episode you're referring to was very dark,
Yeah, it was.
and like the domestic abuse was there, and like it was I thought it was very just him being vicious, being that guy that just like lost it, and really it turns out there's a deeper meaning behind it, and there really is a deeper meaning behind the whole cyberpsychosis in general. It's like the ability, like it's being addicted to something.
Yeah.
Really, I was getting a lot of steroid vibes, like
Steroids, yeah. I was
yeah.
saying like going through any means necessary, and then having, obviously, if you overwork yourself, you overtrain yourself, you use performance enhancing drugs, there's
the Adderall,
consequences,
all that.
yeah, whatever, yeah.
You're gonna deal with it later.
You're
gonna burn out.
Yeah.
So, but I did like his character. I did like him being a leader. I did really like that he was a very much a father figure to David.
I didn't see that, but now that you mention it, yeah.
Yeah.
Because obviously David had no father.
Yeah,
figure,
they mentioned that.
Yeah.
So he was kind of a father figure throughout, and he, after the initial meeting, he actually like brought him up. He showed him the ropes, and then he basically allowed him to take over the crew. Like without Maine, whatever happened to Maine, he built David up to be able to run a crew.
Right.
Yeah.
So there was a lot with that.
Yeah, I did like the whole like him showing him the ropes. Like he pulls out the gun and it's like, you ever used one of these before? Yeah.
Here you go. Shoot.
Really?
Let's call him Shoons. Chooms.
Yeah, I didn't.
Chums.
Yeah, Chooms. It's Chooms, and it's kind of like, here you go. Like it's like a term of endearment, but like
Is that what it is? I never.
It's not like, it's not supposed to be like nice. It's it's like rookie, like bitch.
Okay.
Yeah, like you're just the bottom.
Yeah,
okay.
but it's for like, it's a term of endearment in their regard. Just like me calling you like, shut up, punk. Like it's one of those.
Yeah.
So the term is endearment's there, but that's what it was getting at.
I thought this anime was fantastic, like up until the point that they met Maine. Like, I thought it was one of the greatest animes. Like
I mean,
I thought, man, this is fantastic. Then they meet Maine, and that the whole episode where I mean, we'll get into it, but
Yeah. Okay, you're talking about the plot point with the episode where he like loses it for real.
we'll get into it.
Yeah.
I'll talk about it later.
Okay, so who's the next character?
let's go over Kiwi.
Oh yeah.
I actually liked her. I knew from just the way she looks and the way she's acting, she's got like an assassin vibe. She's also like the hacker. I knew she was gonna backstab somebody.
I did too. Because she doesn't have a real refined story.
Yeah.
She's not like talked about in general. Like has no like backstory really for her. Like she's not talked about. She's not in the spotlight. I knew immediately she was the backstab.
Yeah, her biggest, and this is how you knew her biggest, like I guess character attribute was that she was like best friends with Lucy, and she would always tell Lucy, "Don't trust anybody. Yeah, don't
trust anybody."
Yeah.
So,
Over and over again. Don't trust anybody. Yeah. Oh, don't trust anybody.
Your thoughts?
I think she's a pretty weak character. Like she's on the outskirts.
She had a slight redemption at the end, but
Slight.
yeah, very slight.
Yeah.
She,
I'm very jaded about it because I really did not like her at the end with the whole betrayal. I was her, bro.
Yeah.
I was feeling it. You know how I get in these anime.
I love that shit though. I mean,
There had to be one, right?
yeah, there had to be the Brutus.
I like that she's very competent. Like she's good at what she does. She's very kind of stoic.
And when her face gets smacked off by Maine, her whole face comes off.
Yeah,
I thought that was pretty cool.
So who else we got? Go to next.
all right. Gloria, the mom.
Yeah, she was great.
Yeah,
Gloria,
like I said, that's just probably my
your
favorite
favorite
character.
That's like Gloria the mom. You got anything else you can say about her?
Yeah, I loved her voice actor. Like she actually like came across as someone who cared. Like I didn't like David because like damn, like that's your mom. Like I can put some respect on her name. Like fuck.
No, there was maybe because I watched a dub, but like Gloria was a great character, a great way to set the. She really got the things moving.
Yeah.
She got the motions, and I don't know if it's said in could be an English translation, but her jacket was supposed to go to Maine.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I got that.
I believe it's supposed to be Maine's jacket.
Yeah, I thought that was a weird plot point how they brought his mom in to like the loop of like.
Well, she was an Edgerunner.
Yeah, she was an Edgerunner.
She got the military grade.
Yeah.
Tech.
I thought that was kind of a weird plot point, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, and you got to think she's probably the medic that helps this group move forward.
Yeah.
For like, for like dimes. That's why she's always tired. Yeah. How many medics that are can barely sleeping? Like, she was out. I'm sure they are, but like, she was really out there. She was a good mom, and she really did care. But at the end of the day, it's like she worked so long that she like missed out on some of the.
I could
She
see
could have
that.
she could have easily been like paid David's tuition or whatever, paid for that download. Like he's a kid. Like you give a kid money, they're gonna go blow it off on games and be like, let me get the cheap knockoff.
In David's case, he was watching like snuff films.
Yeah.
Yeah. Snuff. Well, that was Doc sending it to him. He was trying to watch that Atom Smasher video.
Yeah.
Or like the new game they had where they talk, and that's the first introduction of cyberpsychosis was that whatever they were watching.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked Roya. She was great. Who else we got?
All right, next one, Rebecca.
The best character of the whole anime.
Rebecca.
I liked her. She's pretty spunky.
Spunky.
Very one-dimensional though.
That's fine with me being one dimensional, but she gave me like Harley Quinn vibes.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, I
She
can
was
see that.
great, and I love that there was this idea of like a love interest between her and David. I really enjoyed.
There was a slight undertone. to that.
Yeah.
It was
No, she
hinting
wanted him.
Yeah, and he wouldn't. And I'm sure, like, you know, a girl in that position probably get any guy she wanted, but she wanted David. But but at the end, she truly cared for David. When David took over took over the crew, she really genuinely was like worried about him.
Yeah.
And at the very end, you can tell how she really felt about him.
Yeah.
She really loved him. I think she was like doing like a brother vibe at the end, kind of like, because she lost her brother. And there was so much with that. Like there was so much you can dive deep into her character development and her being this like girl that looks innocent but had like a foul mouth and was just raunchy and just aggressive and wasn't afraid to kill.
Yeah.
Nope. She loved to blast off on people, you know.
Oh yeah.
Like every time I saw her, she's just freaking unloading on some freaking chums.
I
Some
like
chums.
I like how
Chums.
they that scene where she like the bouncer's like, nah, you can't come in, and she's like pulls out a gun. And there's like 6 people. And they all pull out a gun.
And then Dave like sneaks him in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
I really like the part where this is a little bit after, but Pilar, you know how he was doing the little tricks at the bar.
Yes.
Like later on, she's doing tricks at the bar. She's like doing the same thing.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah,
She's
so-
like throwing up shotgun shells, and it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, like it was actually legitimately shot for shot the same scene, except take Pilar out and put her in there.
Huh.
Yeah.
It was actually shot for shot.
I
He's doing the hand thing.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
he's doing something with shotgun shells, and she's doing a hand thing on her hands, and she's walking on her fingers. So that was you're right. I did like that scene. They did a really good job on that. All right, who else we got?
Let's go with Lucy.
Mid as fuck, dude. Super mid. Not really a great character for me to like.
It's like I told you, she just filled the role of the manic pixie dream girl. That's an actual stereotype. Like
Right. Manic.
She had some
pixie
depth to her.
manic
though.
manic pixie dream girl. Like, you know, like some crazy bitch basically
Yeah.
comes into your life and just like fucking
Well, like from the beginning till he actually meets her, like it's hinting that he's like looking for her because he sees her like shadow, and she's like disappearing every time he tries to look for her.
yeah.
And you're right. Like, but there was so much backstory with her as well. That she had an actual story. She was very
probably,
in depth.
She's probably the most fleshed out character in
Yeah.
the story.
Yeah. But I just didn't like her. I didn't like her in the beginning because she kind of betrayed David.
She was kind of the main character to me.
Yeah.
Like she kind of like was right there, like a co-main character. I don't know what they call it, but right there with them. And when they first meet her, like I thought that was like one of the like best like, interactions
I
with
actually really like those
like
opening scenes.
yeah, like with her stealing all the little chips out of their necks and like how they work together, and he was using his Scanda whatever
Sandevistan, I think is what it's called.
yeah, and like it was just so great meeting her, like, and like up until like, you know, she's being vulnerable, introducing him to the moon, her dream, you know, and then she hits him with the betrayal.
Yeah, and throughout the anime, like her character development was great. I do like that she developed this idea of like being just this like running through, stealing, whatever, being part of the crew, training David a little bit, getting him involved in that, then moving into this role of being the diver.
Yeah,
for a bit.
The deep divers, network divers, I forget what
network divers, whatever they call them.
Yeah.
And she and then seeing something that she could not unsee, feeling it, and wanting to separate entirely, like from the group. And I think that was really good on her part.
She had a weird dynamic because she wanted to save David and David wanted to save her. That was like the whole thing going back and forth.
Yeah,
and that's you're right. And that's something I really didn't like. I didn't like that this whole back and forth thing, because like why the fuck she give a fuck about David?
I was just thinking like, why don't they just run off together? Like, why the fuck are they doing what they're doing? Like, I understand she needed to protect David or whatever, but like like,
There was a certain point where they had enough money just to leave.
yeah, exactly.
They could have walked away multiple times.
Yeah,
Yeah,
instead,
he had a ball ass apartment with her. Like,
Yeah, he was all ripped, and they're walking around butt naked, butt ass
that's all they
naked.
do.
Yeah, just walking around butt. What are you doing? I'm butt naked. What are you? Been butt naked since this morning. Like he's bucket ass naked. All right, who else we have? There's a couple more in here.
yeah, Pilar.
Pilar was okay. He was good.
I really liked him's character.
He-
I wanted to see more of him, and then they off him.
Yeah, like he's in like 2 episodes.
Yeah, he's like the shock factor of the cyber psychosis.
Yeah, so I do like that. He's kind of we're going to build off that in a bit, but he's the plot point for like what changes the dynamic of the group.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's really all I get from him. He is really cool because he really likes like Chrome, and I do like that when David delivers the Chrome, he's like I got this for Pilar, and he's like bro, and he's like, that's your bro. She's like in her panties, but the way she answers the door, he has like the 22 at his head.
Yeah.
So what are you doing, Shun? Like she knows it's him. She's still holding him hostage. He's like, I got this delivery, and then she tips him, and it's like so much money. He's never seen that much money in his life.
Yeah. She starts blasting at him too. He's like, oh, it's bulletproof, like his hands.
It's bulletproof. Yeah. So he was cool. Anyone else?
Yeah, we got 3 more. Dorio. Did we go over to Dorio?
Not really, but we talk. That's Main's like side, like Main's girl.
His love interest.
Yeah.
There's not really a lot to say about her. She's like just there to try to keep Main like in line, I guess.
Yeah, she's like the voice of reason for him,
yeah.
but she's also the most like cool-headed out there because she knows she's getting beat later that night.
I don't know if I got. I don't know if
She
I got
does that.
those
She knows
vibes.
like Main's gonna lose it, and they have those what they call them cyber blockers or something. Like basic muscle relaxants to like cyber
You're talking
blockers.
about like the drugs that.
Yeah, that they
okay.
take. Yeah, so
the little.
like she's like administering it for him, and like she knows that later on if we run out, I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
But like so she that's really all she is for. I don't think you have anything on her.
Not really. I liked her character.
Yeah.
I like the whole interactions with her and Maine. Like, you know, the whole just like violent love aspect about it. Like, it had some kind of like spy vibes.
Yeah.
Feel.
I just remember she fucking punches Main in the face, and he's all like bleeding, and then they start making out. Like,
She like licks
Oh
the
yeah, that was pretty weird.
These are some, maybe that's where you're getting the
She just-
domestic
Yeah.
vibes.
It's there. Yeah, she was the one being the abuser.
Yeah, like both ways. Like, but Maine was really abusing by that. Like, he thought he was somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like I like when I first watched it, I thought he killed Doria.
Yeah.
Doria.
Dorio.
Did he not kill her?
No, he like so when I rewatched it, like
She gets killed.
they shoot her.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
the bullets are from the back.
She runs and like hits him in the chest with the
Yeah.
drug to bring him back,
And then they shoot him.
Yeah,
So he did kill her indirectly.
sort of.
I thought he like
It was like
popped her.
it was like an act of love.
But it
oh
didn't,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that's what I thought. He didn't pop her.
no.
No.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
She-
All right. So okay, who else we
All
got?
right, we got 2 more. Ripper Doc.
He was great.
I fucking love
He was
him.
great.
I thought
He was great.
character.
Yeah.
I fucking love. He's just so like he doesn't give a shit. He's trying to rip him off in the very beginning. Like I'll buy it. Like, you know, I don't know whatever they discuss, but then he's like, no, it's way like I'll just keep it.
Yeah.
You know, just,
and then he's like, shit, I have no money. Let me try selling it back again. He like lowballs him even more.
yeah. He brings it down. Like
Yeah, no, he was a great character. He was also kind of like the healer to David because they would always take them back to Doc.
And it was he also healed like Lucy a few times, maybe
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Kiwi too. Yeah.
He was a great character. Yeah, he was awesome. He was definitely needed for this anime.
I liked him.
Yeah, there's no
Yeah.
way you could do this anime without him.
yeah, and I like when they first introduced him. Like he has like that sex fucking.
Oh yeah.
It's like it's like getting him off. And like I like the whole sequence of introducing him.
Yeah, it was great. All right, who's
the
last?
last one? Faraday.
Brian Fury from Tekken.
Brian Fury.
Faraday.
Yeah.
Tekken 8.
Oh, dude, I liked him. Man.
I thought his voice actor was great.
I
Like,
thought that dude was.
It was Gus from.
badass.
yeah, that's the sub or the dub. I mean,
The sub. I don't know who the fuck it was.
yeah.
But,
No, I liked his voice. I mean,
but like they did such a good job of just like making him seem like a corporate shill. Like, you know, like he's a fixer. You know,
Yeah.
like
He
that
did a good
character was like top notch to me. Just
Yeah.
as a villain, as like I don't know how you describe it. Where they're like he's not a villain, but he's not great either.
Yeah.
Like,
He's the anti-hero.
He's not on either. He's not against them. He's not with them. He's just
Yeah.
like, I hired you to
Yeah.
get this job done. Like,
Yeah.
you're failing me. Like, what
I'm
am I-
trying to make money
Yeah.
to get in with the corporate
Yeah.
the corporate people.
corpos.
Yeah, and I don't even know if he would be considered the big bad of the anime. I really think the big bad was the bourgeois. Like there was a lot that on that.
The whole companies were the baddies.
So we got all the characters. You got anything else?
Nah, that's it for all the characters.
So-
Unless you want to like maybe some of the random ones.
Nah,
but,
I don't need those random.
Like
Glorious
the
random-
trauma team.
the trauma team. So we actually have about 5 major plot points that come about this anime, and really let's get in the beginning about you can talk kind of about the introduction of David in the beginning, where he's just a high school kid
Yeah.
going to like a good school, but you see the disconnect right from the rich and the poor, and his like journey to school. Like, he's basically dealing with a bunch of crackheads, and he's like can't even go downstairs. He has to jump off the edge.
Yeah.
Runner.
Did you notice that? Like the first few times he's walking to school, there's like a dude like with a flashlight.
Yeah, with the VR is getting jerked off. Like,
Yeah.
there was so much of that, and you can see the disconnect there with that. But see, I do like that there was a bully involved. I like that he like fucked up the entire system with his shitty ass tech. But the bully played an interesting point. Like he had tech,
Yeah.
so like he was able to whoop his ass because he had like a little bit of chrome.
I like how he was like Bruce Lee. With that.
Like,
That was
He
hilarious.
was a million punches to his face.
Yeah, so that was hilarious. But and then you get to see kind of the aspect of like more of disconnect with like, because he's now, his mom and him are driving home, and she's basically chewing his ass out for being expelled.
Yeah.
And then of course there's some rival gangs just shooting at each other. She doesn't make it. He gets the jacket, and that's when we get like kind of where his journey really starts. Is when he gets that jacket.
Yeah.
Because he upgrades it or whatever. He puts it on, and now he can run like the speed of light.
Yeah, and I like he puts it on because he smuggled the I want to I can't
The Sandy.
the
Sandusky.
Sandusky. The
Sandusky.
Sandusky. She smuggled it out from the guy who he, like, in the very beginning, he's putting that glasses on, or not the glasses, but he has like the snuff film, right, where he becomes the dude
guy
doing
who
the
has-
deeds,
yeah,
and he
yeah.
feels the pain or whatever. You know, it explains it later. That same dude is who she got the thing from, because she was
He had a name, but I forget what it was.
she was a trauma team to go get his fucking body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's like, look, there you are, mom, right? Like,
Yeah,
he's-
there she is. Yeah.
So there was like, you know, there, and again, it's very small details. You got to pay attention.
Oh yeah, when they Lucy brings up the jacket and she like shines a light and it says Cyberrunners or
Yeah.
Edgerunners on the back of his jacket.
Yeah. And so really, we get the funeral kind of scene where he gets like the Pepsi, the vending machine, fucking
Spews it out, yeah.
Yeah, there's your mother, and that really just starts like, because now he has the jacket, he upgrades it, of course now he can run really fast, and he does his first heist with Lucy.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of a big introduction, because at this point it really is based off him and Lucy just doing this heist, and there's nothing really big happening because until they go back to her place
Right.
where he has his first beer,
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
and they're in his
First
place,
alcoholic drink.
and she's like, "How about I show you the moon?" So they go to the moon, and then
She's just setting his ass up.
just
like,
a big setup.
Yeah.
Yeah, he fucking gets taken out of the moon world, which the moon's a big scene in the whole anime because he's like part of, because it comes back later.
Yeah. It's like a recurring theme where Lucy wants to go to the moon, and he's like, I'm gonna take you there.
Yeah, and like in that song, I really want to stay the night at your house, whatever it's playing. Very nice. And then they take him out of that real quick.
Yeah.
They just start whooping his ass. Like, how'd you get this tech? And this is where Maine says, like, this is supposed to be mine.
That's mine.
mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you know, and he starts beating his ass. And he's like, I can help you. And that's kind of
He's
what
just like, hire me, give me a chance. Like,
yeah. I'll pay it back.
Is that where they figure out that Gloria's his mom? And
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, like basically what saves them is like she was part of their crew.
yeah.
Like, she had something to do with them. I think she was probably like their medic, like healing them afterwards, maybe. I don't know if she actually was running with them, but
I feel like, like the Edgerunners come on, like they're the Edgerunners that they're the chromies. They're sitting on the edge, and she had the jacket with the Edgerunners logo on the back when they flashed the light at her. I don't know exactly what it was.
It's a little ambiguous,
but like they obviously had a lot of respect for her. Like to me, she's part of the crew. Yeah. Like it shows something that David didn't know was his mom was part of the crew.
Yeah, and of course he's like, I want to run with you, and then they do. This is where it gets a little like day-to-day operations where he's like showing the way they run things.
It's like a bunch of weird flashbacks as like Maine and David are like sitting down talking, and it's just like doing flashbacks of like all their heists and stuff.
Yeah, like don't ever do this, don't do this. Yeah. You want to be here, you want to get chrome. Here's some chrome. You ever use one of these? And then they do like the limo heist. Yeah, where they steal the guy's card, and and that's kind of where we get to meet Faraday. Because he meets him at the bar after they've done the heist, and that's where Pilar is doing those tricks with the shotgun shells. Yeah. He's like catching them and like holding, but that's his first heist. So it's really a lot of that, and then we get into the
glass. He's like catching like people's beer bottles.
Yeah, he's doing some weird like trick, but it does come back later with Rebecca. But that's what they're doing for a good while, and then they get to this next big plot point. And I want to say this is they know what cyberpsychosis is, but it's not been shown amongst the group yet. And it's where that one guy is pissing off the side of the trailer.
Oh, yeah.
This is, I think, a huge major plot point, and it changes the dynamic altogether.
Yeah. It makes you realize that, like, all of them are actually in danger.
Yeah.
Like, like this random guy pissing on the thing literally almost wipes them all out. Kills Pilar, and then almost kills David. Like, he like injures Lucy too. Like, Maine has to save him.
Yeah. So really, he's pissing, and he's like, Pilar's just being an asshole, like by him, and he just pulls a gun and just shoots his face off.
Yeah.
And I really like Rebecca's reaction to this, because like she's like, I mean, I don't know what the measurements are, but she's probably like 4'11". She like takes one of the guns from one of the guys and she shoots it, and she flies back because the gun's just so powerful. And she's just unloading on this guy, because obviously it's her brother. They go ahead. I want to say Maine is the one that kills him. I think he punches his face off.
Maine, David uses his Sandy, like goes and shoots him in the head and thinks he's killed him. And he's like checking on Lucy, and the guy's about to murk David, and then Maine comes up and like punches his head off, like right before he's about to shoot David in the back of the head. And
you're right.
It's Gandhi.
Yeah, it's the very first realization that they are in danger.
Yeah,
because right now they're just doing heists, having drinks and having a good time.
Well, one of the things that always bothered me about it was like they pick and choose when the bullets work and when they don't work. I don't know.
Star Wars.
Yeah, basically.
Stormtroopers just missing all the time.
Bullets work.
So that did divide them up a little bit. And really, we get back to this day-to-day action where they're getting these serious heists now. One of them is like taking like this super like amazing hacker that's super tech, and it's like walking around like Chris Tucker in Fifth Element. He's all fancy.
Oh,
yeah, you're not talking about him.
He was the guy that was making the snuff films.
Yeah. He was doing the programming on those.
Yeah.
Trying to remove the pain receptors so you can feel the pain.
Yeah.
So he and that was a big heist. And the next one is when they kidnap Tanaka,
which is like the vice president or the president of like the school.
Yeah, the dean of the school that offered David like a full ride scholarship based on his grades. And this is again another big, not really a big plot point, but we start learning a little bit more about cyberpsychosis and also about diving, how dangerous it is.
It's
it's a huge plot.
Yeah, this is where Maine goes through his cyberpsychosis.
Yeah,
like fucks up Kiwi, and they need to call on David and Lucy to then come in and like hack Tatanaka, and that's whenever he comes awake, and David's job is to like put him back to sleep, right? And then the guy's like begging for his life, and David's like hesitating, and he's starting to tell him all this shit. And at the same time, that's when Lucy learns, because she's hacking into him, that he knows about the cyber exoskeleton, whatever it is, and that they're already planning to use David as like the prototype, the test, the guinea pig test subject.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but I want to say this next plot point is Maine's death.
Maine's death, yeah.
Because they do this, they're doing this job and it goes kind of like off the wire, and it doesn't help that you have someone going through cyberpsychosis. If you don't know, cyberpsychosis is basically when you have too much chrome and it's fucking up with your mind.
Yeah.
And basically it's making you go insane.
Yeah. And they're having to constantly like shoot up some kind of drug to like fight it off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's going through this. And again, I thought he did kill Dorio. So I'm glad because I watched it twice and I was like, it didn't look like the second time that he killed him.
Yeah.
But basically Dorio has been just taking the abuse from Maine like this whole time. And it's such a good scene, man. So the scene is basically like they get Lucy out of there. I'm gonna go back and get them, and it's Maine and David, and David's trying to speak reason into him. He's like, we can get out of this, we can leave, we can go right now, and he's begging him to leave.
Maine's like cyber psychosis I thought was like really sick. Like he's imagining himself in the desert.
Yeah.
He's like his little skinny.
Yeah, without the chrome.
Yeah,
without the chrome.
Yeah. He's like seeing that, and like it was actually really like a good kind of backstory to him. I actually really like what makes David go save him, because Lucy's begging him not to. Like, don't go. And he's like, just tell me that you believe in me. Tell me that I can do it.
Yeah.
And she does, and he leaves. I thought that was a really, really sick plot point.
I was hurting at this thing. This is a big, like, I was really sad because, like, basically Maine, he's saying like we can get out of here, begging him that we can leave, we can make it, and Maine's like, you know, you're good at running, so run, and he slaps him, kind of like in the beginning when he slapped the shit out of him. Yeah.
What happened was he goes over there because he wants to fight. Like he's gonna throw his life away.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna say, he's like, we're like, you know, I'm here. Like I'm not gonna give up on you. Like let's do this together. Like I'm like they're coming. Like we're gonna die, but like at least we'll die fighting.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know, get the fuck out of here. Like, you know, I'm gonna blow this whole bitch up. Throwing the, like, in his cyberpsychosis mind, he's throwing logs on the fire.
Yeah,
which was throwing like
it's Dorio. He's gonna burn Dorio. Give her
yeah,
like a proper burial.
Yeah, but he's throwing like some explosive like canister. Like he's just loading her up with like oxygen or something, some canister of oxygen, and he's like, you know, and when they come and he just shoots it and it blows them up like. It's just a crazy. It's a crazy scene, and then he just zips out of there.
Yeah,
and he has his arm.
Yeah.
I think he's also like wearing Tanaka on his body, like he's tied to his body the whole time.
Yeah,
he's just unconscious, like hanging.
Oh yeah.
He's walking around the bottom.
He just punches the head off at the very end. He's like, fucking, like the trauma team comes and he just marks him. Yeah, and he's like, okay, well, let's call the mill tech in or whatever the fuck they're called.
Subject's dead, so let's just move on. These guys. Yeah, it's so funny though. He's just wearing them.
Yeah, he's just carrying them.
It was a dark scene though, and I think this changes it. This actually does change everything because the next scene, the new leader.
It is David.
It's David.
And now he's all chromed out, buffed up, like ridiculous looking. He looks ridiculous.
we have like him now being the leader. Lucy's no longer part of the crew. She stepped away.
Yeah.
Kiwi, Rebecca, and him, and Falco, which is funny enough because he's been part of the crew the whole time.
Is that the driver?
Yeah.
I was like, where the hell did this guy come
randomly comes in there like from I don't know. He's like, and he has like a story too, but like it doesn't matter because like he wasn't part of the whole thing, but he really was. He was there the whole time.
Yeah, he was actually.
But so we have this new crew, and he's now like recruited like this little shit that is like ready to go into action. And like they go into that war, and of course Lucy and them like are badass. They go behind, like they're doing a heist. He like kills off the big boss, and that guy's like, "I'll go," and then he just gets killed like a landmine.
Oh,
a little trap.
Yeah, I forgot about that guy.
Yeah, very forgettable.
He dies in like 15 minutes.
Yeah, he has like he's part of one episode for a little bit. And then it shows David's new crib. He has money now. Yeah. He's kind of big. He's butt naked.
He's also living with
butt naked.
Lucy,
yeah.
Lucy's also there, butt naked. She's diving.
Yeah.
Like behind the scenes.
Yeah, that's where you kind of get the backstory of like, she was actually like groomed as like a child by Arasaka to like be like the deep net diver into the old internet or something, and it was like showing a bunch of scenes of like her, like the other kids that they were using were like getting killed, and she eventually makes her escape.
Yeah.
She escapes the thing and becomes a Edgerunner.
Yeah, I really like where they talk about like the prodigy hacker that just exploded the old internet. Like he just flooded it with a virus, and they had to make a whole new one because he just fucked it up. Yeah, I like that. And that's the only time they talked about him, but it was a really cool scene on like Lucy and her little backstory where she's a kid, she's just running and they're just gunning her little friends down, but she didn't give a fuck. She's gonna make it out of there.
Yeah. And him as a leader now, apparently he hasn't been working with Faraday, and now he is. He's been offered a contract with them to go work, and that's where, that's kind of where we get into him being this leader, and he's getting we start seeing him dealing with the cyberpsychosis. We start seeing him like how he's dealing with it. We find out that he hasn't been dealing with it really well. Ripper Doc has been like giving them these these blockers to like help him fight it.
Yeah.
And he goes, I don't want to jump ahead, but he's now has this one heist he's working on, but really it's a setup.
Yeah. Well, I guess right before that happens, like, before the setup heist were done by Faraday, right?
Yeah.
See, I was always confused by like what Arasaka was with the Militech, with the Faraday. Like I kind of got lost in that. But essentially, like Lucy knows that he's going into cyberpsychosis, and it takes him to the Ripper Doc, and there he's like starting to lose it again, and he's like is choking him out, saying like, "Just give me like the Ripper Doc's telling him like, you know, cut back on the chrome, like you know, take it easier, like you're gonna lose your mind," and he like snaps and is like choking him. He's like, "I'm gonna give you like these." Like
military grade.
Yeah, the military grade. It's like 9 times more potent than everything I've been giving you.
Is that the military doesn't even have these? I think he says. Like, the military doesn't even have this kind of stuff. Like, well, once you use it all, like you're done for.
Yeah, he's like, I'm never gonna see you again. Like, I'm fine with giving you this. Like, the end of the game is the moment you take the last injection and you have no more. Like, your mind's gone. Like, that's it.
Can't come back from it. Yeah. And they set up this whole heist where he goes in there. And he basically gets double crossed by Kiwi, and now he's just being run down. And I want to say they do a voice message like get in, like where it's from Lucy to him, like get into that chrome, but it's not Lucy.
Yeah,
it's like Faraday.
It's Faraday. Yeah,
and like she ends up like getting away, and she calls him like, "Don't do it, don't get it." But he's like,
he's already there.
He's he says it's the only way. Like this is the only way right now. So that's the only way to get out.
I did like that scene where he's like, "All right, David, like, are you gonna do it or not?" And he's like using the Sandy or whatever. Yeah. And he's like, "I'm going to." Like, you know.
It was a great scene. He gets in there. Of course, Kiwi backstab. We'll cover that when we get to the climax. But he gets in there. He sets it all up, and he, of course, you know, he saves the day. They're like, "Let's go find Key."
He destroys the whole entire freaking
He destroys everyone.
Jumps out of there.
What'd y'all think about the design of the final, I guess, mech suit or whatever you want to call it?
That he got into?
Yeah.
It was dope. I liked it. I don't like that. Like it had like already the immune blockers in there already. Yeah. Like, it already designed.
Like it kept coming over and injecting him.
Yeah. So
I would have rather it been like a super exoskeleton. I thought it was over designed. I would have rather him like kill everything with his bare hands kind of thing. Like instead he's like floating around like using gravity.
Anti-gravity. I liked it. I thought it was awesome. Yeah. The only way he's beating a tank is a fucking anti-gravity it. And throw it away, like throw it into the air and destroy it. Like,
yeah, I agree. I liked it.
Okay.
He destroys the whole army, and now we can kind of get this final climax. He's going to find Lucy. There has been some betrayals across the board with Faraday and his like little militia.
Like Faraday's like betraying Arasaka at the same time while betraying Militech at the same time, like lying to the people he's feeding information to. Yeah. And then he's like lying to Kiwi, like he's like, "Meet me up, Kiwi," and he goes to like kill Kiwi, and she like gets injured but like gets away from him, and that's when she like calls David and gives
the coordinates
to where Faraday is. Yeah. And then he goes, and of course there's like a bigger hierarchy over all of it where this lady is like, "You're gonna take the fall. We have one more contingency plan. We have Adam Smasher.
Yeah.
He can Adam Smasher.
I think I told you, I was like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, I legitimately thought it was Tatanaka's like son for some reason.
That
I
was
was
so
like,
funny. Dude.
They hinted at it like, oh, Adam Smasher, he's a
A legend.
A legend.
Yeah.
He's been murdering everybody basically.
Yeah, and so we get him. It's great, dude. This is where the climax is so good. He's like going there to like kill everyone, and there's a scene where like Rebecca like basically like helps him out with like the auto blockers, and she's like, "Thanks, Mom. We did good, right?" And she's like, "Oh, yeah, David, we did good." Like she knows he's gone.
Yeah.
She's hurting too, and she takes him there. They go out. They go to there, and then of course we have them all in this hangar. All of them hanging out. Adam Smasher's there. David's there. They're just murking people, getting murdered, shooting everyone.
He lands on top of freaking Faraday's like transport.
Yeah.
And transports them there, and then they're all there, and he fucking murders them all, and then Adam Smasher saves like the executive.
Yeah.
Like he just goes and blocks the bullets from the executive.
Yeah. Not Faraday, the other different executive, which I don't think he died. He lives, right?
Faraday?
No, the other the dude who's
not
like
Faraday. I don't know. The guy who says take the fall.
yeah,
exactly.
like he's there to take the fall, and he protects him, and he doesn't die. Like
Yeah.
fucking, that's when Adam Smasher just totally starts fucking shit up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually liked Adam Smasher as as like the big bad at the end. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
agreed. Yeah.
Like he's unstoppable. He's like
Yeah.
the Terminator.
Yeah, he was great. And then we get the scene where basically David finds Lucy, grabs her, goes off the hanger, falling to the ground, and they play that song. I want to stay the night at your house.
That was
Yeah.
it was pretty poignant. And then she brings him out of psychosis by kissing him, and they have their little heart to heart, saying like I didn't want you to Lucy's telling David I didn't want you to die.
I just didn't want you to die. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This is the most painful part of the whole movie or show for me. They get in there. He makes a deal with Falco. We don't know what it is yet. And then Lucy's getting put into the van by Rebecca. And then she was like, just get in here. David wanted you here. Whatever. And then she is like, then she looks up and she's like, we're having a moment.
Yeah.
And she's shooting.
She doesn't realize it's Adam Smasher.
I think she does. She's just like blowing, like shooting up, and she dies.
I feel like they did her dirty.
Smashes her.
Dude, I was so hurt.
They should have killed. Who's the driver's name?
Falco?
He should have died. They should have let Rebecca live.
Rebecca should have been the new driver.
Yeah.
No, like she dies and she's like, we're having a moment.
Yeah.
And I think she died the way she wanted to go out.
Yeah.
She's unloading bullets.
Just completely just mashed on by Adam Smasher.
Yeah.
But then just goes off to just completely annihilate
he just obliterates
Besides,
David.
like he's using the new tech, the exoskeleton that's so badass on Adam Smasher, and he's like, fuck it. Like, you think you're badass, and he starts just ripping the fucking pieces off of it.
Yeah. And while this is happening, Falco and Lucy get away, and she's like, turn around. He's like, no, can do. David said, keep driving, split the money.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's kind of what they do while Adam Smasher's beating the shit out of David. He has him pinned to the ground, and this is like such a good scene. He was like, I could have, Adam Smasher saying like, I could use you, we could be like whatever. And he's like, yeah, just kill me, Shoom or whatever. Yeah. And he kills him.
Yeah. He's like, I actually did have fun, and then kills David.
Yeah, but he's like calls him a Shoom, which was kind of funny. It was like it kind of went back to like what they were getting at before. And then of course they get away, Falco and Lucy, and then this last scene, just like, I mean, this was a good ending scene.
I liked the last scene. I thought it was pretty appropriate.
So it's Lucy finally has enough money to go to the moon. She's in all space helmet, and in her reflection is David, like the original David we know, not the one all chromed out.
Yeah.
And she's like reaching his hand. He's like, we made it, and she's like crying, and then they hit that music, dude. And like I didn't even cry that much.
You cry that much?
Not that much. But I was a water show like whenever you went to the restroom, because I was like, yo, this is so sad, like she's literally like imagining what it could have been.
Yeah, I agree. That was a sad scene. Like I didn't cry. I don't cry.
You don't cry. You don't cry. Yeah, whatever. You don't get it.
No, it was good. It was a tearjerker.
Yeah.
It's hard for anime to make you feel those feelings, and it was definitely there.
Yeah. So all in all, I think this anime was a great anime. It was a great watch. I'm glad we did it. You know, I know you were not
See,
so
just because
happy.
I give it a 7 out of 10, essentially, it doesn't mean I didn't like it.
Why you got to do the math? 3.5 out of 5.
5 out of 5.
Yeah, and you know it's fine.
Sorry.
It's an anime that we should have watched.
Yeah.
I'm glad it became part of the episode, like this episode. Yeah, and I do think we needed to watch it. I mean, it was one that we needed. Like, we couldn't just pass by this one and go on. You know, if we would have done this a year later, 2 years later, it would not be as relevant as now. The further we wait on this one, because it is a good anime.
Yeah.
And I think everyone, and I'm glad it got number one.
Yeah.
'Cause
How
it was
about
good.
IGN?
Yeah. 2022. I mean, it was a good anime, dude. I liked it. I thought the first 3 episodes were like one of the best.
Yeah. I saw it one, Crunchyroll gave it the 7th anime award for Anime of the Year.
Yeah.
So Crunchyroll.
Even Crunchyroll's thinking that.
Yeah.
So, you guys, any final comments?
Final comments.
Don't get chromed out, boys.
I would recommend this to people. If people
Yeah.
ask me if it was good, I would say yes.
Yeah, it's a great. I think this is also a great starter anime too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, 10 episodes,
yeah.
not a big commitment.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good story in my opinion.
As long the
Gets
biggest.
you with all the tropes.
Yeah. Very gory though. I don't know. Some people have weird things about that.
Yeah.
They can watch
They've been
Slice of Life.
blowing brains out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can watch Slice of Life. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, tell your friends, share it around, let everyone know we're filming again. We're back in action, guys.
Hell yeah.
All right, see you later, guys. Bye.
Later.